Doe management is necessary. Everybody looks at them like the more animals you have, the better it is, but that is not the case.
We have to do some doe management. As you see, we're kind of overrun with them, so.
Doe management is necessary. Everybody looks at them like the more animals you have, the better it is, but that is not the case. People always wonder, about doe management. Is it more important just to take big bucks, or do you have to do something to get the does out of there or manage your population? And literally, you need to manage your population because social stress, which is the overpopulation of deer, is a real thing, and it can affect antler growth. So if you have too many does, and you'll hear it from a lot of individuals, especially in my neck of the woods, that some of the older gentlemen that went through when there was no deer, right? And it was a sin to shoot a doe. They don't want to shoot a doe anymore. And yet you can go out there and see 30 or 40 animals, and it's too many. And what they're really doing is affecting the antlers. Those deer are going to be stressed. They're not growing as quickly as they should be. Therefore, it's constricting the antlers or minimizing the size that you could get out of those bucks if the herd was healthy. Wisconsin's an interesting state, like where we are, zone 3, the deer density is high, like it's really high. And there's pockets, right? I'm just in one of those pockets. We always have a ton of deer. Up by the office here, there's not as many, but it's still a pretty healthy population. Northern Wisconsin, they can't even shoot does anymore because the population has declined so much. A lot of that is pressure from the wolves. The DNR might not want to say, but it is wolf pressure all day long. And I'm just blessed that we live in a different part of the state. If it's early in the season and we go around and we see a ton of antlerless deer, guess what? Our numbers are going to go increase at how many does we're going to shoot. We're also running trail cameras year round, so I get a good volume or a good history of how many deer are visiting a plot. And if that number exceeds 10 on a regular basis, we're going to do some serious doe management. We already talked about social stress, but let's look at what happens to the habitat when there's too many whitetails. They can literally eat it to the ground. And I can use my place as an example, right? We got a ton of browse for them in the winter. And typically on a year when we have too many whitetails, they'll eat all that red osier or red dogwood to the ground. Well, that's never getting a chance to grow. If I didn't have some already established mature plants, I'd have no cover left for the whitetails. Now, I'm going to go to when doe management is popular or the neighbors are all practicing, it's going to keep them in a healthy balance. You're still going to have that new growth coming up, for the whitetails to eat, but some of those other plants are going to get to maturity, which lets them actually reseed themselves. Therefore, it's a more healthy environment. The more whitetails you have, the more tonnage of food that you're going to need available. We plant almost 20 acres of food plots, right? So if you take on average 5 tons of food per acre, that's a lot of food, right? But yet our density is fairly high. If it goes higher, I can't feed all those whitetails, and that's when they're going to put pressure on your environment, right? That's when they're eating everything they possibly can, every shrub, every maple, every pine tree. It doesn't really matter. As the food gets tough, they're going to eat anything they can. I can only do so much. I need to convince my neighbors, because otherwise the deer feel my pressure that we're shooting does, even though the buck season's basically over. And they'll just vacate and they'll go over to theirs where nobody's shooting them. So therefore, if you can spread out that pressure, you can maintain your deer, you're going to keep them all, you're going to have a healthier herd, and it's going to lead to bigger bucks. Noah texts me and says, "Hey, can I take my buddy Nate out?" I was like, "To shoot a doe?" And it comes back, yes. I was like, "Absolutely. If you want to shoot 2, go for it."
With Brad being out of town, it was my turn to go do some doe management.
Best part about having an older son is all I have to do is call him and he's always willing to help out.
I usually take the last week of our gun season. Our gun season's 2 weeks. I go out the last week and just start shooting some does, just because we have a lot of does. I kind of hold out for bow hunting and all that to try and shoot a buck. However, these last 2 days, mainly only does. The fog kept coming in and out, couldn't really see the best, but the deer are still on their feet. They're moving, they're feeding. I had a couple come in, a couple got past me right away. Somehow, I'm not sure how they snuck past me, but they did. A goal of mine was to always shoot a deer off that bridge, just because we put it in a couple years ago, and me and my dad both were like, we want to shoot a deer off this bridge. It was a goal. I had a lot of opportunities to shoot a doe before the bridge, but I was definitely waiting to shoot her on the bridge. One thing about having a lot of does to harvest, I have a lot of friends who don't have the benefit of seeing a ton of deer during their gun season. I want my one really good friend, Nate, he wanted to come shoot a deer. He went out the whole week before for gun season and never even saw a deer. I needed some does killed. I called them up kind of last minute, so everything was very fast. I forgot the camera right away. I had to run back to the house, go grab the camera, set him back in. Within 5 minutes, he almost shot a deer already because he saw one walking. So he was very happy to see these deer. I told him, just wait, give them some time, they'll come out to us. I'm not worried. There's a lot of does in there. We just need one to give us a good shot.
Today I want to talk about Zeus broadheads. It's one of those heads that a lot of people probably have never heard of. This is the Apollo, and it is smart head technology. Today the main question when you're a bow hunter, should I shoot fixed broadheads or should I shoot expandables? I've always been a fan of the big expandables because I believe in them. They're going to give you that big cut on contact, big hole, lots of damage, but you can also lose a blade when it pops off, when it hits a bone. The guys that love fixed, right, they love a fixed broadhead because their bow's tuned, it flies pretty decent, and they always know that those blades are in a cutting situation. But if you want to check out the new Zeus broadhead, it is the best of both worlds. If you look at the tip, it's got cutouts. It literally catches the air, so it makes it aerodynamic and forces all that air internally, which keeps your broadhead flying perfectly. It's straight and true. Flies like a fixed blade, looks like a fixed blade, but if it comes in contact with a hard surface, those blades actually spring backwards. Therefore, it's maximizing your internal damage on that animal. It's going to give you the big holes like I like for expandable broadheads, but it's going to fly tried and true like a fixed. You need to check out the new Apollo by Zeus Broadheads. Check them out at ZeusBroadheads.com.
Modern Hunter is brought to you by
I've never hunted with him. I wasn't sure on what to expect, but usually for me, seeing a deer, I don't get super excited. I get excited, but not where I'm hyperventilating. Hunting with Nate, he was just super excited. For me, that got me excited. Just to see how happy and excited he is to see a couple deer come in. It was just really exciting to see what could happen.
Should be to the left, just coming out, probably 10 yards into the brush. Which one are you doing? Yep. Shoot it. Reload.
We had that doe pop out perfectly. He made a great shot. It looked a little back, however, it came out perfectly. We walked over, grabbed her, drug her out, got her cleaned up for that night, and sent him back home with some fresh venison.
Maybe there's skin trails that way. Maybe that's the way she went. She's still right here. Check her eyes.
We still love to gun hunt, however, our big passion is to go bow hunting. Up next, Brad is out to go try and harvest a doe opening day of bow season.
It's opening day. I'm excited to get out in the woods. This year, I was actually after a doe, which normally isn't the case. Normally we do our doe management a little bit later in the season when it's cooler. We go to one of my go-to spots. We ran the Browning trail cameras, right? I know the deer coming in from the big egg fields. It's the first food plot off an egg field, and it's a green source. It's just a matter of time before they come in, and literally, boom, we didn't have to wait long. First light, deer coming in right away, boom, boom, boom.
I think I hit her eye. Can you see her yet? It looked like it went high though, didn't it? Down the bugs right here. Yeah, we didn't kill that one. I'm sure that looked high.
She's a little bit out there, maybe 30 yards, still a sweet spot, right? I mean, I should have easily made that shot. I don't know if I pulled the shot. I really don't know what I did, but literally, whoosh, right over her back. You know, you see it go, the whole woods just explodes. There's so many more does that we really didn't see. And, you know, they start settling down. I'm like, they're gonna come right back in. If you guys watch us here on Modern Hunter, the one thing you're gonna know is Browning trail cameras, right? And here is one of my favorite. It is the Dark Ops Pro Dual Lens Nano. And what it means is with the dual lens, it has two lenses. One for more that daytime activity, better light, one for nighttime vision, IR, right? So therefore you're capturing the best image possible in both those situations. And who doesn't love great daytime color photos, right? But we all know as hunters, when does that buck normally move? It's those low light situations. We took this bad boy up to Canada this year and put it on right at the bait pile at the camp. And literally the videos that we have are nothing short of outstanding, of bucks coming right into the camp at night, crystal clear, gives you a good vision of what you can get out of a trail camera like this. And that's what makes it so cool with that IR technology, because this will actually give you a little bit extra boost when you need it and take it away. So you're not gonna have those washed out nighttime photos that a lot of the cameras have. The other thing, it comes with standard, the normal features of Browning trail cameras. HD video, some of them are up to 4K. It's got a fast trigger speed. Battery life is exceptional. I think you can get like 16,000 images off of one set of AA batteries. I mean, the list then goes on and on. It really doesn't matter. When it comes to Browning, for the price, you're gonna have a hard time beating the cameras. And this Dark Ops Pro Dual Lens Nano is by far the best camera that they have. If you're looking for the Mac Daddy, the camera that can do it all, no matter if it's daytime or during the night, this camera is the one you want. Check it out at browningtrailcameras.com.
I don't know what I did, to be honest with you. I shot high. I couldn't, she was 34 and then she was walking a little bit away and I just blundered the first one, shot high over the top. This one comes in, gives us a perfect 20-yard shot. And I'm pretty sure I saw her go down. She was hard hit. Opening day of the Wisconsin archery season. I already have one doe tag punched. I was kind of excited to try to see what was going to come in. It's kind of funny because you run a trail camera, right? And you're getting pictures of these deer all the time, but it was always one, twosies and threesies because you got a delay on the timer. Heck, this plot probably had 6, 7 deer in it all at once. So, I mean, ozonics, the power of ozonics does a job. It's blowing right into that food plot. I could see 4 bucks, saw a bunch of little guys, but we have to do some doe management. As you see, we're kind of overrun with them, so you got to take some out. I like to take them out early season or after the rut, either one.
This one was not as lucky. She literally ate the arrow, probably ran 50 yards, and then literally I could see her getting lower, lower, lower to the ground and just snow plowed into the ground. Now the camera had a little bit different angle, so they didn't get to see it, but I knew she was down right there, right in our shooting lane, and it was just a matter of time of getting out of the tree stand and going and getting her.
Best part of it is we don't even have to go too far to find it.
Noah's there in minutes, literally helped me throw her in the back of the UTV, and we're good to go. It's a great way to start the season. Best part about doe management is you can either fill your freezer, help out a neighbor, or feed the hungry. It's all helping your deer herd in the end, and literally it's going to give you bigger bucks in the end as well. Doesn't get much better than that.